Hey guys, welcome to today's video in which I'll take you guys along our day at Tokyo DisneySea. Here is my husband showing his love for his favorite movie, Pinocchio. But since we stayed at the Tokyo Disneyland Hotel, we went over to the station to take a monorail to the park. The station itself is so beautiful with such a great view of the Tokyo Disneyland park. This is a loop it does, and as you can see, the longest ride is 3 minutes long. You best believe I kept this ticket because I love that it had the 40th anniversary logo on it, and I think I still have my Disneyland Paris theme park ticket somewhere with the 25th anniversary on it. And right across the station, you can see where we stayed at, and if you want to check out the Tokyo Disneyland hotel and room tour I posted, you can click the link up above. The monorails here are so spacious and way nicer than the ones at Walt Disney World. I mean, look at the cute decor for the anniversary. And yes, I'm mostly going to be making comparisons with what we've experienced at Walt Disney World, Disneyland, California, and other parks around the world, so get ready for that. We also got to ride in the front, which was so cool because we got to see some behind the scenes things, and I absolutely loved the view that you get of the ocean right next to the park, which made me feel very at home in Puerto Rico. Had to do a slow-mo to show you how cute these cones have been placed for the 40th anniversary. And also to show you guys the busy crowds that were there that morning. Thankfully, we were able to skip all of that since we had early entry since we stayed at a hotel on property. Now that we're in, this is what you see once you go into the park, which gives a bit of Epcot vibes, and even more inside when you see the Mediterranean theme. And before going to check out the rides, we decided to check out the stores in the front, and it seems very counterintuitive, but from our time here, it's what I recommend because at the end of the night, everyone goes to the stores and they are packed wall to wall. We attempted to get some last minute souvenirs for family and it was impossible. I really wish these were smaller because I wanted to take all of them home, but I would have needed probably 2 extra suitcases. Once inside and past the stores, this is the Mediterranean Harbor, and right here is where the Hotel Miracosta is, which is another hotel you could stay at, and yes, you are literally inside of the park, and you have your own entrance to the theme park through your lobby. This is it, the hotel. I love that you could even take a gondola ride, and the best part was that as we passed by, there was a couple that had just gotten married inside of the park that was taking their gondola ride and everybody was clapping for them. In the Mediterranean Harbor, you'll also find Soaring, which is the prettiest one I've seen so far with a Renaissance-era museum of fantastic flight. The ride in itself is the same one as the one in Walt Disney World, but ends with flying over Tokyo, Mount Fuji, and Tokyo DisneySea. And once outside, this is what the harbor looks like. We also got some ice cream while we were here, and everyone was a big fan, even my dad, who claims doesn't like ice cream and acted jokingly mad when he noticed it was ice cream in 3, 2, 1. A little further down is the American waterfront with some scenes from New York and Cape Cod, which I'll show you a little later. I honestly really like this area, all the theming, and what you will see above in a few is a transit steamer line that takes you around the park. Kind of reminds me of the TTA over at Walt Disney World. This is their Tower of Terror, but before we get into that, right next to it is Toy Story Midway Mania with an awesome carnival theme that reminded me of the Disneyland California's Pixar Pier, and I thought it was perfectly themed since the ride is a bunch of carnival games. So once again, Japan is killing it with the theming and the decor. The ride itself was the same with some minor changes in the queue, like the fact that the ride would start with you going underneath Andy's bed, which I thought was very cool. Once you exit, you have the Tower of Terror, and while the theming is very different since it centers around a Mr. Hightower that is an explorer and brought back like a cursed idol, the queue itself is very cool, but the actual ride was so mild. Tower of Terror is one of my favorites, and I found that the one in California is the best one since it has the biggest and most drops, but this one was so short and the drops were so small, so if you're wanting a mild experience, this is the one for you. No hate at all, but just my opinion as a thrill seeker. Another area or land in the park in this loop is the Mysterious Island, where you can find the ride 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Journey to the Center of the Earth. The 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride is somewhat similar to the one in Disneyland California, except you're in a pod or submarine that fits about 6 people, I think, and you have bigger windows to look out of, and spoiler alert, you're not actually underwater. Also, it's not Nemo themed as it is with Disneyland California, but it was so fun because you can move a flashlight and see different things. The second ride here is Journey to the Center of the Earth, which was a very short but pretty cool roller coaster ride with, I think, one decent drop, no loops. Nearby, we got some snacks, which included this delicious gyoza sausage bun, beer, and coffee. We then went on the electric railway, which took us to another land called Port Discovery. And as you will see in this crowd, you can somewhat see characters like Donald and Pluto meeting guests. Once we arrived at Port Discovery, we went on the Nemo and Friends Sea Rider, which was a really cute story where you're like shrunk down to a fish and you go to school with Nemo and his friends. And the ride itself was in the format of Star Tours. And then we also got on Aquatopia, which is a boat ride with a trackless technology that was so smooth and you spun around the lagoon. We then got some more snacks nearby, including a sushi roll to the left, creme brulee churro in the middle, which was my favorite yet, and a demi-glazed churro that had a sweet soy sauce filling, which was my parents' and my husband's favorite. We then kept walking around the park and ventured onto the American waterfront. As I had said previously, it had some scenes from Cape Cod and New York. We also got this white chocolate popcorn that was super yummy, and I really think it's such a missed opportunity not having different flavored popcorn at the different Disney parks around the world. Here are even some more snacks that we got, including a Mickey Mouse cinnamon churro, and even though it was adorable, it was just a bit too crispy for my taste. And one of my favorite lands visually in this park is the Mermaid Lagoon because I love how colorful it is and the fact that you have Ariel's castle and not Prince Eric's like you do over at Walt Disney World. This is where we also had some matcha white chocolate popcorn that was a 10 out of 10 for me as a matcha and chocolate lover, and decent for my husband that doesn't love matcha. Nearby you also have the Arabian coast that is so impressively detailed and spacious. I really enjoyed this as well since the closest thing we have over at Walt Disney World is the Moroccan pavilion over at Epcot, and because I felt like I was inside the Kingdom Hearts game. The seventh and final land in Tokyo DisneySea is Lost River Delta that has the Indiana Jones ride that we didn't go to, and Raging Spirits, which was a pretty tame roller coaster even with a loop. At the end of the night, we walked around the Mediterranean harbor, we had some dinner with this amazing strawberry cake that some people were dying to try and kept sending me daggers as I filmed it. And we also saw snippets of their nighttime show called Sky Full of Colors, which was a more expensive production of Fantasmic in my opinion, with the characters on boats and music. And that was our day at Tokyo DisneySea. Stay tuned for next week's video where I'll show you guys what we did over at Tokyo Disneyland. But thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!